Hey, what's up, guys? The Magic Gaming Productions fam. I hope you're all having a great day. Today I'm going to be talking about Annabelle creation in today's video. So, I'm going to have to talk about that in a minute, but before we start, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications, and let's get into it. So, it starts out with this little girl and his father and mother, and they're all a happy family and stuff like that. And then one day when Mr. Moles, which is her son, which is B's son, which is the little girl, he's fixing the car, and then one of the screws go into the street, and then she gets hit. And yeah, that's like the introduction. And then 12 years later, the evil comes back. All these orphans like have nowhere to go. They live at the house with Mr. Mullins and Mrs. Mullins, and they discover they discover something's wrong with the house. It's all normal at the start, and then Janice sees when she's like, because she can't actually walk in the movie, there's this chair, like electric chair that goes up and down the stairs, if you guys know what it is. And then there's a little figure of B in the hallway, like that, yeah. And the real thing is, the reason why B was haunting the house, because the Mullins wanted to they wanted to find a way to get in contact with their daughter again. If there's an evil spirit or is it a bad spirit? So yeah, so it is a bad spirit. As you guys know, it's a bad spirit. And one time during the night, Janice, and yeah, no, Mr. Mullins warns the girls that you're not allowed in her room. And then Janice sees these letter notes at her door, and it says, "Find me." And she picks it up, and then she says and it's in here to the door she's not supposed to go in, and she disobeys the Mullins and just goes in. She goes in there, she thinks it's cool and nice at the beginning, and then she opens the door where Annabelle's in there with the words surrounded by God. She gets the key and unlocks it. She sees something's creepy with it. She closes the door, it opens again. She closes it again and locks it, it still opens. And then Janice thinks maybe getting a sheet would do something. And then the doll, whatever, it gets up and there's nothing there. She freaks out. And then there's doors shutting in the hallway. You know that's B. And yeah. And yeah, the girl, and yeah. And Sister Charlotte, which is I don't know, practically their family, tells Janice off that they would all be split up if she disobeys the Mullins. And yeah, she promised they won't do it again, and it was all good. Then the next, couple nights later, she goes, in the room again, and B's there, all normal. She's all normal. And then Janice asks her, "You're Mullins' daughter, aren't you? Do you need help?" And she's like, "Can you help me?" Like B says, and she says, "What do you need?" And she goes, "Your soul!" And she's a demon. And she gets on, and she falls on the ground and gets dragged on the floor while her hands are scratching on the floor. She gets in her electric chair on the staircase, and she tries to go down. Then you notice you need the seatbelt in. She puts it in, it's going down and all good. Then it stops, and she's just flicking it this way and that way, and then it's going up again. And yeah, and it was really scary. The next thing I know, it's all black smoke coming out of B's room. Then everything stops. She gets jumped out. She jumps the chair. It pops, and a spring goes. She goes up in the air, and then she falls to her death, and she has face blood on her self, little blood stains there. Then she officially can't walk. She can't walk. You know what I mean? Then she's in a wheelchair. And then also I know something else and also this is actually the first night. Janice was explaining to Sister Charlotte this house ain't safe. She didn't really believe it at start. And then they finally discovered, and then this guy, Sister Charlotte leaves Janice out in the sun, and then this, figure is pushing Janice into the shed and dumps her out of the wheelchair. She's damn scared. She tries to, try and get the wheelchair, and it just teleports somewhere else. She tries to hide in like a little shade area, then B comes in with her mouth open and like this black stuff, and it possesses her. It's her that possessed her. And yeah, something, yeah, it possessed her. And then she wasn't normal anymore. Then there was tragic deaths. Janice killed Mr. Mullins because the doll was in the dining room. Mr. Mullins tries like, oh yeah. And then Mr. Mullins said, Janice, I told you not to use that room. And she's singing, please don't take my sunshine away. Like, you can tell that voice ain't normal. She turns into a demon. Mr. Mullins, like, made this cross. He puts it at her like this. And then his arms go this way. Like, his arms, like how it's on this side, it will teleport to this side. And his hands go or whatever. And then, like, the orphans are, like, bringing in groceries. Then your sister Charlotte, he's screaming. She runs in. He's dead. And you know what's kind of silly? Like, if something happened like that, I wouldn't let them sleep in there. But it's kind of funny how she let them still sleep there. And then Sister Charlotte tells Mrs. Mullins about the situation. And she explains to Sister Charlotte the story that they wanted to be in contact with their daughter again. They wanted to be in contact with their daughter again. And even if it's a bad spirit or a good spirit, they don't care. They just want to be with their daughter again. And then also, it's not actually B. We thought there was a B, but it's not. It's a demon. It's not actually B. It's just a B. It's just like a demon, like being trying like to pretend to be her. Like it's pretending. And the next thing I know is that Janice is asleep on the couch with the doll. Linda's one of the orphans. She grabs the doll. You get me? She gets the doll. She runs. She's going to the well to jump it in there. Because it's like hurting them and stuff. But Annabelle creeps you out first. But Chucky... That's him when you first see him. Yeah. And also, yeah, alright, back to the story. And then there's like these like big footprints, and then she's scared, like actually very scared. And then like the second time it's like much louder and there's nothing there. She goes to the well. Sister Charlotte sees her through the window, and then Janice says this doll is hurting Janice and it killed Mr. Mullins. I'm getting rid of it. She got rid of it. And then the next thing I know, she's looking down the well and something pulls her in there, which I'm telling you, it's something to do with that damn doll. Sister Charlotte pulls her out and closes the well lid. And the next thing I know is that all like the orphans find Janice. They find Janice in B's room with the doll there. And she's like gets up when they try and talk to her, and she has a knife with a creepy ass face. And also Sister Charlotte's trying to do this saying thing to think maybe it would help. And then Janice with her powers, she's floating up and she smashes her to the mirror and it breaks and she's knocked out for a real while. And then Linda gets pulled out to the floor, like pulled, she's on the ground and something pulls her. And also and Janice tries to kill him. Then most of the orphans go to this shed, like first, and there's these light bulbs coming undone and breaking. The first one she manages to get, like, fixed, but then this thing gets it and breaks it like that, and she falls off the ladder. I don't know, she was still moving. Then it was coming after. It's like this mannequin, this haunted mannequin. Like, I remember they were trying to escape and they asked some of the orphans, and they saw that there was this orphan, like, there was this mannequin near there. It was looking at him every time they turned the light on and off, and the last time they did, it disappeared. Then, like, that thing is out with its teeth, and it tries to get one of the orphans. She manages to get into the other room of the shed, locks it and blocks it. She gets scared thinking that it's there, but it's actually one of the other orphans. So, yeah. And the next thing I know, Linda's going down in this, like, box with the string leads you to the basement. It's in Sephora as well. Guys don't know Sephora is. It's a cool movie when the house is in space and whatever. I'll maybe talk about that in the next video. Anyway, so yeah, she's going down and Janice is like a figure like trying to get her, and Janice has a flashlight and hits her in the hands, and then it leaves her alone for a bit. She goes down in the basement, sees blood on the wall, and this dead body's coming after her, and it had blood on her stuff, and then she to go back up, and that's, yeah. And eventually, this, like, Linda, like, she shouldn't have went in this place. Janice was trying to find her to kill her, and then Linda's hiding in the room with Annabelle. I wouldn't hide in there, and the doll was looking at her. She twitched it that way. We thought maybe she wouldn't find her, and Janice comes out fine, says, "Found you." She has a knife to her neck. And then Sister Charlotte saves her, throws her in the room, blocks the door. Then the house starts to, like, go crazy, things breaking. All the orphans manage to meet up again. The house goes crazy. And the next thing I know is that they leave the house, all the orphans, and the police come. Janice is missing, still possessed, we don't know. And then there was this scene, like, I don't know anything if this was before the movie or after the movie. Then, like, these guys were giving Janice a present. She was normal and everything and walking. And then at the end, we go to the original Annabelle. The original Annabelle, like, when there's this, yeah, scene there. It's a killer scene. And, yeah, that's, like, the documentary about Annabelle creation. If you guys, like, want to see any GTA, Grand Theft Auto documentaries, leave it a comment down below. Thanks for watching. Sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.